Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, what other thing is a revolution? Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better man for Laredo. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
Back at you in Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón. I'm here with Hugo De Llanas. How we doing? You doing good?
We're doing pretty good. Como está sucediendo ahorita todo, and we try to keep our spirits up and try to survive, más que nada, business wise and health wise too. So
Absolutely. And folks, when you guys are looking here, we're way within the social distancing boundaries, okay?
Just in case you guys are seeing that we don't have any masks.
But Hugo is an entrepreneur here in Laredo, and he has several businesses. And one of the businesses that he has a salon, right?
We have a hair salon. We've been in business for I believe we're going on 10 years now. I've been a hairdresser for about 15, but we've had the salon for about 10, and it's been good. It's been good. I mean, considering that I started something that not a lot of people know. When I opened up my first salon, I took the risk, and I say I took the risk because when I signed that lease, I had $12 in my account, and I think being an entrepreneur and it's all about taking risk and just taking it from there. So I took that risk many years ago. It was an opportunity that presented itself, and I think if I would have said, you know what, I don't have the money right now, or I can't do it, I would have never started. I think a lot of people think that, there's an old saying that says you need money to make money, and I completely disagree with that. I've started businesses with $0, including another other business that I have. Me and a partner, started with zero. So I think it's that entrepreneurial spirit, that really takes you forward.
And where's your salon located? I know it's located on Springfield, but tell us where it's at.
Yes, it's a lot of people. That are from Laredo remember Agave Azul. It was an old club back in the day. So it's in that little plaza. It's Delmar and Springfield. It's in Regency Square. So we were there for about 9 years in the same plaza, and then this year in February, we decided to move to a bigger location. So we started in January, moving everything, doing all the investments in the property where we're gonna move to. It was a bigger location. We're doing really good, and right when we started, we opened up in February, and in March, all this started. So we haven't been able to really enjoy the salon because it's a really nice salon. It's a big salon. At the beginning of February, we had 10 stylists. We had some estheticians that were working with us, and as the months went by with all this COVID stuff and everything, we started losing hairdressers and stuff. So it's been tough. And we haven't been able to enjoy that salon. But it's a really nice salon, and it's like I said, it's located right there in Delmar and Springfield.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you say that because COVID hit everybody dramatically. And it was the plan of no plan, I guess, and it was hit, they closed down without a warning, and everybody just kind of froze. And I understand the crisis. I understand that there's a sickness out there. We all have to be careful with the whole thing. But it seems, to me, in my opinion, it seems that having no plans, they always talk about a plan, a national plan, and this plan, and we have that plan, and that committee has a plan. But when you ask them, there's no plan. And I've seen it with some events that we have to cancel and postpone and re-cancel again. They're going on. They have nothing. There's nothing that the city can offer for anything with a plan. They abruptly just condemn everybody. And I think that's wrong, and especially for the businesses. You know what I'm saying? And why? Because businesses suffer. I mean, you had a dream. and your dream was, I'm opening up a salon, I'm doing it here, I'm taking the risk, like you said with $12, I'm putting me forward.
Yeah.
And for somebody to come over and pull the rug right underneath your feet and put you back down the ground, it's going to take people that have your heart to move it forward again. Understand what I'm saying?
I think what's going on is we have people in charge that are, and I hate to say it, and I don't want to offend anybody, but we have people in charge that have never been out in the real world. They've been politicians all their lives, you know. And I think it's all about the planning, you know. Looking forward, planning ahead. You know, as an entrepreneur, you know, I've been in business, you know, most of my life, and you know, it's all about the planning ahead. You know, when I started this new salon, you know, I invested, you know, close to like $25,000. Now, that might not be a lot to a lot of people, but that was a lot of money to me, you know. So, but I planned ahead. I had some savings. I opened up the salon. So we can only plan so much ahead with so much money. You know what I mean? So when I opened up the salon, I put most of my savings that I had in. Now, when all this hit, if it weren't for me planning ahead, I would have probably already closed down. If it wasn't for my savings that I had, you know, extra, if it wasn't for some programs that I had at the salon, because I sell memberships and stuff like that. If it wasn't for that, I would have probably already closed down. And it all goes down to the planning ahead. And when you ask, or when we ask our local politicians, you know, what is the plan, you know? And we recently had a meeting, and we asked one of our local politicians, which I don't know if I can mention his name, but you know, we asked him right to his face, you know, what is the plan to take us out of this? You know, because you've already destroyed a small business. It's already gone. You know, so what is the plan to help us after the fact? And his answer was, we have no plan. And it's scary. It's scary that they have no plan.
Oh, absolutely, they have no plan. And we as a community, and I'm saying we, the small businesses, Laredo, we have to snap out of it. I'm not looking at the municipality lifting us up, because the municipality did not help you nor I open up a business. The municipality told us how we can do a business, if we can or not, and if we did something wrong, they can close us down. Fine, granted. But what happens is if they can supervise those types of businesses, in other words. But if you're the thing that happens with the community, and what I've been seeing, is the extreme hate now, the rhetoric of many towards small businesses that are trying to keep open, that are trying to make a living. And you see it with the Laredo Morning Times and on social media especially, and they place restaurant bars are going to continue open, and all of a sudden you see all the hate rhetoric that's in the bottom, and then you start looking at all the people that are there, and you're like, you know, and I sat down there and I told my wife, and I clicked in there and I clicked one, and I said, no, let's look at this person here, who this person that's spewing this hate is. Then you look at her, and then you see a couple of pictures that they have, and they're in a bar drinking beer, and they're están echando of the bar owners, but yet they're in there drinking beer in a bar, not social. And you're like, let's look at this one over here, you know, the same thing, and you're like. And when you start looking at who they're employed, either they're not employed or they're employed by a municipality.
And see, this is the thing. This is what I don't get people to understand. Not everybody can afford to stay home, and I see all these people, spewing in hate and and everything, and saying stay home, stay home, stay home. You know, not everybody can afford to stay home. You know, maybe some people can, but most people can't. You know, we can't afford to stay home and see, what was really, I think at the beginning was really unfair to me was, them saying, well, you can stay home, you get to stay home, but you gotta go to work. You're essential, you're not, you're essential, you're not. That was what was really unfair to me, because I think if anything that you do that puts food on the table is essential.
Absolutely. You see, that was something that I had, was the labeling right away, the segregating you're essential, you're not essential. In other words, you're like, and the words that were being used, lockdown. Instead of being, oh, we're gonna quarantine the city, you're gonna be locked down. Lockdown's a prison term for criminals. You understand what I'm saying? The jail went into lockdown. It's a criminal, it's a word that's used for a criminal activity.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, you're essential, you're not essential. In other words, you're worth something, you're not worth something. You know, so here in the United States, once you start labeling that, it was too many things have already passed in our history, not that long ago, that they started labeling people and things happen in a very ugly sense.
And now, going back to what we said earlier, I think we have people making decisions that don't know anything about certain industries. For example, my industry, my license that I have, it's a state license. You know, a lot of people don't understand or simply don't know that it's a state license. We're regulated by the state of Texas. So we have to do certain hours of sanitation. We have to do certain hours of different things. So most of the stuff that they were, telling us to do, we already do. We already do because we are regulated by the state. So we have to do all that sanitation. We do sanitation when we get to the salon, before a client, after a client. We sanitize all our tools, our shears. Everything is sanitized. We use all this, like the PPD liquids and stuff. We already use it. So we have people telling the hair industry, the beauty industry, you're non-essential because you're dangerous to the community, because people might get infected. Going to a beauty salon or a barber is one of the cleanest places you can go, especially barbers, because they use blades, so they have to use medical liquids and everything to sanitize.
So, of course.
So that was the thing with me. That was my frustration. That we have people making decisions that they don't know anything about the industry.
You're absolutely correct. And I remember when I asked, they said, "Well, we have a committee for small businesses," and I said, "Who's on the committee?" And they named 5 bankers, and they named some people in the Chamber of Commerce, and they named some people.
I was in that meeting.
And they named a couple of people from the newspaper, and they named some other people. None of them have a small business.
But I don't consider IBC a small business.
No, and you're like, when did you? None of these here have a small business.
Yeah.
They might know what a small business is, but they do not know the day-to-day element of what to run a small business. And to me, that was kind of like, really? And you saw the wave of how everything went, like, it's just another shenanigans downplay.
Exactly.
I'll say this for myself, in my opinion, as people distrust small businesses for being open, for making, and our government is distrusting small businesses as well. I distrust our government with a lot of things now, and a lot more so because of the way they've been trying to stop it. And it's sad because now that distrust is already there. You distrust what we do, now we distrust what you do, and it's going to be very hard to fix that because they have implemented those feelings and ingrained it right now in Laredo and in a lot of other communities in Laredo, and it's going to take a long time to get that out.
I think in Laredo we already, and I hate to say this because this is my hometown. Even though I wasn't born here, I grew up in Laredo. But I think we're already at a point of no return.
Sure.
And business wise, and what happens is, for example, people like me with small businesses, you start planning businesses because as a you're like we said at the beginning, we're always planning. Mm-hmm. You start planning your business, but you start planning out of Laredo. Mm-hmm. See, so I have another project, that we're starting or we want to start, but it's not in Laredo. So because of how everything's going on in Laredo, you get discouraged, by everything, by just by people, by hating, by all the politicians, by how I saw that they destroyed small business and didn't support small business. What's happening now is that the business that I want to open, I'm going to open it up somewhere else.
Sure.
And imagine that's just me with 2 small businesses. What happens with other businesses that they start seeing all this? They start, you can see it with the mall right now. I went with my brother last time to have some coffee, and we saw we counted 17 stores closed down
Absolutely.
at the mall. So, businesses are just going to start either leaving Laredo or just not opening up in Laredo. And it's sad.
I have fed students all over the place, and I have one student that I'm not going to mention what they needed, but he was from Fort Worth, and he married, and they moved to California, and he was working with a company in California, and he said, this company wants to transfer to Texas. And it goes, and Laredo was one of the places because of the train and everything else, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And he goes, what's the problem with Laredo? And I go, why? What's the problem?
What do you mean?
What's the problem? He goes, we asked them for this and this, if they can do this for this business, because it's a manufacturing company. And they kind of blew us off. While McAllen, we told them, and they said, yeah, sure, come on over here, we'll fix you this, we'll fix you that. And goes, we're going to be moving 22 directors, managers of the plant that we already have over there. He goes, even the real estate agents in McAllen are helping us with lower prices and get a better venue of if we're going to buy so many houses and so on and so forth. All and go, you go to Laredo, there's nothing. I mean, go, how do you survive? He goes, hey, Prof, how do you survive? And I go, well, been here for a long time. And then they said, and the other place is Fort Worth because of the railroad tracks and everything else that's going on. And goes, and that's where I'm from, and they're kind of open as well, but I don't know where we're going to be at. Well, they ended up going to Fort Worth, and it's a prestigious company, manufacturing company, huge prestigious manufacturing company, one of the best in the nation, in the world. And Laredo lost that because of the way they act, and you're like, what can you say? They're telling you that it happened, and you're like, and you tell that there's a disconnect.
I think a lot of people compare, they like comparing Laredo to McAllen only because of the demographic.
Sure.
Son ciudades fronterizas, and that's how we compare it, or that's why people compare it. But when it comes to business and business opportunities, there's no comparison, and I don't want to put down Laredo and
no, neither, right.
But McAllen, they do work with businesses, especially if you're a smaller business. I've heard, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that if it's a bigger company, they get tax abatements and they get tax breaks and stuff like that. So I think they're more friendly. That's what's helped McAllen grow. A lot. When you get all these people from Monterrey, from Guadalajara, from Mexico City, going to McAllen. Why do they go to McAllen when they can come to Laredo? ¿Qué pasa en Laredo? They fly over. They go to San Antonio. They go to Houston. They go somewhere else. We don't have anything for them here.
Well, they use Columbia Bridge and they hit 35 and they go
They
down.
hit 35 and then go down to San Antonio. Even people, even our own people in Laredo, and I hate to say it, but sometimes even myself, I want to go shopping this weekend. I went with my wife and we went to San Antonio. Why? Because there's nothing here. The mall is completely closed down. There's just nothing here. So we went to Cantera and we did some shopping with them and stuff. So, but going back to what we're talking about, McAllen, I think they're a lot more business friendly, and that's why McAllen is basically eating our whole lunch.
No,
they have for the past 10, 15 years.
No, they ate our lunch and dinner. Now they're eating our breakfast, and I think that's exactly what happened. So, like I agree with you fully when you said that we're in the road of no return. Laredo made that turn, and us as small businesses, and we need to stick together and bind together to help one another stay alive, because we've seen what the city has done, and unfortunately the city's not going to do anything. And it's not the county's fault. The county has nothing to do with it. It's the city of Laredo that maintains that. It's a municipality, and it's sad because we're going to start seeing a lot of people without jobs. And God forbid, if Biden goes inside, it's 10 weeks solid. Then we're going to be in a lockdown.
They're already saying it's going to be a 10-week lockdown.
Lockdown, mandatory.
Yeah.
And that means my business is gone, your business is gone. That means our businesses are bankruptcy. That's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
And there's no exchange for that. And, it's sad. But on a positive note, your business is still thriving. and it's still alive.
We're still doing very good. We do things a little bit different. We operate as a regular hair salon, like every other hair salon. We do something that's very different. We sell memberships. So you pay one flat fee and you get unlimited services under that particular membership that you got. So it helps people out because the customer gets to budget. And they say, well, I only have to spend so much, and I get all my services done. So that's what separates us from everybody else. And that's what really kept us going. Throughout the pandemic, that we had all those members and all those recurring memberships that were coming in. That's the difference between us and other salons. Aside from that I've been in the business for about 15 years, and I was an educator for Chi for Rook Systems for about 2-3 years as well. So I have a lot of experience and stuff. We try to go 2-3 times a year to get educated in new techniques, cutting techniques, and everything. So we try to stay on track, on board. So that helps us out. We are still doing good right now, but to tell you the truth, I don't know how much longer. Depends on how things continue. I survived the first close down, which was about 3 months. I still had some savings, but if they close down again, it's gonna. I think like you said, on a positive note, I think if we all support each other, if we all support small business, instead of going to Target, go to your local boutique.
Sure.
Right? Instead of going to a big chain barber, go to your local barber. Instead of going to your big chain hair salon, go to your local hairstylist and help them out. Those are big companies that could probably survive another pandemic. But small businesses, micro entrepreneurs, they're suffering.
Absolutely. And I tell that, that it's sad the mall, and Black Friday, I passed by and there was nobody in the parking lot, and I kind of just stopped and looked and I go, this is Black Friday. There's absolutely zero.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some cars, but in comparison, where you had people parked,
I thought
you know what I'm saying? So you're like, where's everybody? And it's sad. It's a sad note to see that. There's nothing we can happen. The mall says that they're not closing or what have you, but they've already, it's sad.
And then when they did, it was a bankruptcy on Chapter 11. They get to restructure their finances, but they continue to operate. But I think just people knowing that they went bankrupt, they pretty much get what's going on.
They get a black bone. So anyway, we wish everybody the best. Again, what's the number where they can reach you at for the salon?
You all can reach me at 956-220-2775. That's my direct line. You can also look us up on the social media, Hugo Salons or Hugo American and Company. So we're all over the place. So if you want to find me, you'll find me. But if you guys want to find me direct, just send me a text direct, 956-220-2775.
Absolutely. Folks, y'all be safe. Remember, go out and vote. It's essential. There's some races there that, you have District 5 City Council, which between Ms. Nelly Vilma and Ruben Gutierrez, and you have Place 7 or District 7 City Council with Vanessa Perez and against Betty Flores, and you have 8 with his Lisa Cigarroa against Roberto Valli. So there's still some voting to do. It's easy. You can go curbside, and at the library on Colton Road, the fire station, and Faskin. So do your part.
So thank you very much, and remember to support small business.
Peace.
For 30 years, Buitrón Academy has produced great fighters, peace officers, firemen, and many great citizens of Laredo. We teach various martial arts, savate, kempo, capoeira, each in their own traditions, trajectory, history, and pedagogy. Buitrón Academy is the first school of savate in the United States, the first capoeira movement in Texas, the first kempo school in Laredo. What will one expect to see at Buitrón Academy? Respect, fellowship, coordination, skill, and self-defense. Buitrón Academy is located at 220 West Hillside Road.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Got a lot of candidates out there, but we all know who the best candidate is.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Quijano, and I am supporting Nelly Villalma. I'm a veteran here in the community, and just recently, because of her, the veteran's been left out, used as pawn, no more. She stepped up to the plate and made it happen, and I'm very grateful for Councilwoman Nelly Villalma doing what she's doing.
She's always based her decision on ethics, morality. She's a lady of integrity, honesty, working hard for the city of Laredo.
Thank you, Laredo.